Now that we are familiar with some of the basic terminology of a circle, let's dive into the equation of a circle. Just like a straight line, quadratic equations, the cubic equations, exponential equations, a circle also has an equation. The standard form of the equation of the circle is this: x minus h whole square plus y minus k whole square equals r square. X and y are basically the points on the Cartesian plane. H and k are the center points. To write circle equation, we basically need two things. Center point, which is h comma k. Please be careful with the signs. You've got negative signs over here. And secondly, you need the radius. If we have these two things, we can easily plug in the values and find out the equation of the circle. Just like you have y equals mx plus c, if we have the gradient and 1 point, we can easily find out the equation. Or if we have 2 points, we can find out the equation. But when it comes to the circle, we don't need the gradient because the gradient keeps changing at every point. So what do we need? We need the center point, which is this, and we need the radius. If we have these two things, just plug in the values in this equation and you will have the equation. For example, the equation of the circle with center 5 comma minus 2 and radius r is, the 5 over here is h and minus 2 is k. Just be careful with the signs. So the equation will be x minus 5 whole square plus y minus, this is the minus sign in the equation, and this is the negative sign, that is with the k, minus minus 2 whole square equals 8 squared. This will give us the equation of the circle. Similarly, we have the general form of the equation as well. If you open it up, you will get this form, which is x square plus y square plus ax plus by plus c equals 0. This is the general form in which we have x square plus y square as the first two terms. Please remember both the forms because you will get questions on both these different forms. Now let's have a look at a couple of questions. Also, if you look at this diagram, you will see that the radius over here is 8. This question is basically represented in this graph. So we are going to talk about the equation of the circle, we are going to look at a couple of examples, and we are going to draw a circle as well. Now let's move on to the question. Let's start with a very basic question. Write the equation of the circle in standard form with center 0, 6 and radius r equals 1. So we know the equation is x minus h whole square plus y minus k whole square equals r square. We have our h and k, we have our r, just plug in the values. We will get x minus 0 whole square plus y minus 6 whole square equals 1 squared. Our answer is x square plus y minus 6 whole square equals 1. This is the equation of the circle. And if this equation was given and we were asked to find out the center point and the radius, we can easily do that. We know that this is x square, so the value of h is 0. And from here, we can find out the value of k, which is y minus 6 equals 0. Equate both these to 0. Always remember to find out the value of h and k. And we have y equals 6. So 0, 6. And you take the square root of this, r will be 1. You will get exactly the same thing again. Second question. Write the equation of the circle in standard form with center minus 4, 11 and containing the point 5, minus 1. Now we have the center point, but the radius is not given to us. But it's completely fine. This point lies on the circumference, and you see, if we have this circle and I have the center point, let's say this point lies somewhere here. If I take the distance of this, I will get the radius. So he has basically involved some coordinate geometry in this question. And I am assuming that you know how to calculate the distance. Distance is basically x2 minus x1 whole square, x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square whole under root. So let's plug in the values and first calculate the distance. Let's say this is x1, y1 and this is x2 and y2. So we have x2 minus x1 whole square which is 5 minus, just be careful with the signs, plus y2 minus y1, which is minus 1, minus 11 whole square whole under root. So we get, sorry about the under root sign. So we have 9 squared, that is 81, plus we have 12 squared, that is 144 whole under root. We get 144 plus 81 is basically 225 square root of this, and the answer will be 15. So this is our radius. This is the distance, this is our radius. Now we know the equation is basically x minus h whole square plus y minus k whole square equals r square. We already have the center point, which is minus 4 comma 11. Just be careful with the sign. So we have x minus 4, this is our x minus h whole square, plus y minus 11 whole square equals 15 squared. We have x plus 4 whole square plus y minus 1 whole square equals 15 squared is 225. This is our answer. Center point again is minus 4 comma 11 and radius is 15. This is the standard form. Next question. Find the center and radius of the circle whose equation is x square plus y square minus 8x plus 4y plus 11 equals 0. Now this is the general form. I've seen so many SAT questions on the general form. And from the general form, the examiner wants you to convert this into the standard form. Now how can we do that? This is basically, please remember, completing the square. All you have to do is complete the square and you will have your standard form. I've already made a video on this. If you don't know how to complete the square, please go and watch that video. Okay, so we have x square. Let's rearrange the values. X square minus 8x plus a constant is needed here. That will basically complete the square. Plus, similarly, we'll do with the y values as well. Plus y square plus 4y plus a constant is needed here. Once I have the square of that constant, I can easily complete the square. Equals minus 11, constant on one side. This is what you need to do. And how do we do that? We take half of this constant. Ax square plus bx plus c. We basically take b and half that constant. In this scenario, and ignore the sign. In this scenario, 8 divided by 2 is 4. So we will add 4 squared here. This is all you need to remember. So you take this constant, the bx constant, this is basically ax square plus bx plus c. How do we find out c? We take b, half that, and add the square of it. Now we have an equation. I can't just add constants on my own. It's an equation. It's grammatically wrong. So I will add a constant, this over here as well, this square, just to make sure that the equation is balanced. So plus 4 squared over here as well. So if we cancel this out, basically I am not adding anything. Similarly, let's look at this. Y squared plus 4y plus a constant is needed here. You take this value, half this, what do you get? 4 divided by 2 is 2. Add the square of 2 over here. And add the square of 2 over here as well, just to balance the equation. That's all you need to do. Now we will automatically have our standard form. I can easily close this squared. I've got squared over here, I've got squared over here. So I will have x, the sign that goes into the bracket is this bx sign. Please remember, x minus 4 whole squared. See, we have our x minus h whole square. There you go. That's all you need to do. Plus we have y, this sign will go into the bracket, plus 2 whole squared equals, just open this up, we have minus 11 plus 16 plus 4. Let's just let's just solve this. We will get x minus 4 whole square plus y plus 2 whole square equals, we have 20 minus 11, that is 9. So the center point is 4 comma minus 2 and the radius is, just take the square root of this, which is 9. This is our answer. Let's have a look at this question. A circle with center M is graphed in the xy plane below. Which of the following is an equation of the circle? Center point is M, which is basically minus 8, 0. So we already have our h, k. Let's plug in the values into our equation. That is x minus h whole square plus y minus k whole square equals r squared. H, k is already given to us. So it will be x minus 8 whole squared plus y minus 0 whole squared, and r is basically the distance from the center point to any point on the circumference, and the easiest is this straight line, that is from M till this point. That gives us 8 from 18 will give me radius as 10, or you can draw a line from minus 8 to till this point. That will also give me 10. The distance will be 10. So the radius is 10 squared. So our equation will look something like this. Let me change the color. X plus 8 whole square plus y squared equals 100. Let's look at the option choices. That's the first option choice we're looking at. Another very interesting question. A circle exists entirely in the first quadrant such that it intersects the y-axis at y equals 6. If the circle intersects the x-axis in at least one point, what is the area of the circle? Please pause the video and read the question again if you want. Now, we are given two very important pieces of information. The first is that the circle exists entirely in the first quadrant, and the second is that it intersects both the x and the y-axis. Now, the fact that it is entirely in the first quadrant means that it cannot go past the two axes. The circle would look something like this. I've already drawn it for you. Here you go. This is how the circle should look like. Now, for a circle to intersect the x-axis in more than one point, it would necessarily move into another quadrant. Therefore, we can conclude that it intersects in exactly one point like this. Now, the intersection of the circle with 0, 6 over here also means that it is tangential, since it can only intersect at one point. We can thus conclude that the circle must have both x and y intercepts equal to 6. This should also be 6, 0. That is the only thing that makes sense. And our center point will become 6, 6. If you have center point at 6, 6, all the conditions will be satisfied. Now, this is tangential and this is also tangential. And it's a rule that if you draw a line from the center to any tangent, that basically gives us the radius. The radius is 6. Draw a line from this point to this point, or draw a line from this point to this point. It will also give you 6. Now, we have our center point, we have our radians, we can easily form the equation. We basically have the radius. Our target answer is the area. So the area is basically pi r squared, which is 6 squared into pi. 36 pi should be the answer. Interesting question, which is option choice C.